Guild, OC Havoc. Recently shared with them my success on completing the OT Chewie Tier 7 event. That's what this video is about today. I completed it without Dengar or Bossk, so I can't wait to show you what I did and how I did it. Unfortunately, the video I took of the gameplay got corrupted, so I had 2 or 3 hours of gameplay was completely corrupted. You can hear the audio through it. You can hear me like saying and doing things, but you can't see the screen, which is terrible. Is the whole point, right? So, unfortunately, I just have to talk to you about what I did and how I did it. That's gonna have to be, the best of what I can do. First of all, first things first. Let's show you OT Chewie. Let's show you that I did it and that I am who I say I am. Here we have OT Chewie. I was able to get him up to Gear 8 when I unlocked him yesterday, so that's wonderful. He's already making an impact. He's already able to complete the next tier of the Smuggler's Run. I couldn't do G10 plus. I was only able to do G8 plus. Now I was able to do G10 plus with him. Let's talk about how I completed the event without Bossk or Dengar. So of course, this video is for people like me and for people who want to understand a little bit of the dynamics. Even if you have Bossk or Dengar, what I talk about today could still be extremely helpful. Overall, I think that without Dengar or Bossk, you have to get your characters to Gear 12. You have to optimize mods. You have to spend a lot of time because this event is very difficult and very frustrating. I got frustrated a lot. I would spend hours on it and then I would give up, come back, spend more hours on it and give up, come back, spend more hours on it and give up again. Just kind of going through this cycle, slowly improving this here, that there, figuring out this turn order, that turn order. I always watch Arnold's T101 videos and Mobile Gamer videos. They're my two guys. I enjoy watching Skill Turks too. In this particular case, a video Arnold had done really helped out a lot. He talked about the kill order. That was something that I was kind of floundering with, I guess. I didn't think it was so useful to get Chewie down first because of R2's stealth. But his kill order, he says, get Chewie down first. And he also said, helped me realize that he didn't have to do this because he had Dengar, but helped me realize that, every time R2 does his AoE stealth, I can just retreat and go back in and do this over and over until R2 does either a basic attack or he does his AoE burning attack. So that helped a lot, helped me get through the attempts quicker, get to attempts that I would actually be able to use. So let's go through and talk about the bounty hunters. So yes, thank you to Arnold for helping me with that. Let's go through my bounty hunters, how I use them, what I use them for. This is my bounty hunters at the end. So this is the mods that they had when they completed the successful attempt. And I also want to say that the successful attempt was probably like the 30th after I got them to this mod point. The last time I had messed around with their mods and fixed this or that or whatnot was probably 30 attempts before the successful attempt. I don't know if that makes sense, but what I'm trying to say is after I got them to the optimal point, it still took a lot of RNG just for them to actually succeed. So here's Greedo. We're going to go through them in order of their turn order. So with the amount of speed that my team had, the enemy team would each take a turn first. And then my team would be able to go and Greedo would be first. Sometimes, depending on the speed, some members of the event team would go twice before certain members on my team would even go, or if any of them went, they would go twice. But with the amount of speed that I have on mine, at least 4 would go first, and the 5th I can't remember. It didn't matter. I didn't really care about the 5th anyway. IG-88 didn't really care about his turns. Here's Greedo. As you can see, I have potency mods and crit damage mods. Always important to get the 30 speed primary stat on your arrow, and the 36% crit damage stat on your triangle. If you can get it, try to get the potency primary stat on your cross. I obviously don't have it, but it would help. I didn't have very many cross mods with a primary stat of potency, so I ended up having to do without. So the most important thing here is that Greedo's speed is 233, making him go first. So why is it important that Greedo go first? Well, threaten. With the critical chance up, reducing an enemy turn meter, and then with the Zeta, stunning. The Zeta adds the stun. He also gains turn meter, so that helps a lot with him to be able to go again, especially since the enemy team is so fast, they're getting a lot of turn meter. So I would use him in the first round after everybody went and R2 didn't use his AoE stealth. I would use him to stun R2-D2. And then I would be able to focus on Chewie with Boba, which brings us to Boba. Boba's very important. Let's show you his execute ability is important. I pop off his execute on Chewie first. Yes, he doesn't have any debuffs on him, so it's not optimal in terms of damage, but it is optimal in terms of debuffs. I was running into a problem where when I was hitting Chewie with other characters and their other abilities, that Chewie kept dodging everything. So I ended up coming upon this idea of having Boba go after Greedo so that I could take the buffs off of Chewie so that then Jango and whoever else went, they could actually hit Chewie, since he already has pretty good dodge chance, but then Rayton was buffing him with even more dodge chance. So this is really important, having Boba go next. Pretty much the same idea here with Boba. Get the crit damage mods with a couple of potency. Again, 30 speed. Again, 36% crit damage on primary. Again, if you can get potency here, definitely get it. I was able to get it on this one. I had a bunch of mod mats lying around, so I think before this event I only had 1 or 2 mods at tier E. After this event, throughout this event, I had enough mod mats lying around to upgrade 4 or 5 more to tier E. So you see a couple here on Boba, and you'll see more on Jango. Decent speed mods. Let's see. He's at 232, putting him at 2nd after Greedo. Again, as I explained, to debuff Chewie. He has a bunch of crit damage. So from the mods, he gets 30%, and then from his primary stats, 36%. So 66% from mods, and then from the Boba's leader, which I was using, you're getting 50%. So a total of 116% crit damage on Boba added to him. The potency is important for the health for Boba's lead. This kind of buffs up your bounty hunters. They get a percent. It's like half of all the potency of all bounty hunters is added as max health to your bounty hunters, which is amazing. Really helps out a lot to keep them alive, so they can actually take a few turns. Hopefully, Jango. Here are Jango's mods. Again, crit damage, and then I had a couple of crit chance. Again, the 30 speed on the triangle. Since this is tier E, 42% primary here. Again, potency on the cross. The potency on Jango and Boba is important because every time an enemy resists, then they get turn meter. So a lot of abilities every ability that Boba uses applies a debuff. So if it gets resisted, everything Boba does will give them turn meter and make it harder for you. So it's important to have some potency. And so you could even on Jango maybe do a potency mod here. I did crit chance because I really wanted to make sure that his second ability, I wanted to make sure that his shrapnel blast ability was critting every time. Django, his crit damage is 122%, I think, if I remember adding it up. So we have 30% from the crit damage mods plus 42, 72% plus 50, 122%. Yes, that is correct. So that's Django's mod. So Django would go third. So Greedo first, Boba, Django. Boba takes it off the debuffs. Takes off the buffs. He will debuff, and then I would Shrapnel Blast. You can also go with the basic. I would go Shrapnel Blast because it has a more higher damage potential. It has a higher potential to get Chewie down faster, which for a turn on the margin, for a turn getting Chewie down that far is very important. It happened less often and wasn't as consistent as his basic, but in the times that it worked well and it worked out, it really helped get Chewie down a lot faster sooner in a less number of turns, which was really important because I think the most turns my team would get was like maybe 2 before they would die. And when it succeeded, all of them did die after 2 turns, and the only one who lasted beyond 2 was Boba to be able to finish them off and get the kills. So fourth was Cad Bane. Cad Bane ended up being more important than I thought he would be because of his stun glove. This ability is important because sometimes Rolo would ability block Greedo, so Greedo's first turn he wouldn't be able to stun R2-D2. So his speed was important to make sure that Cad Bane went before R2-D2 went second, before R2-D2 went again. So what I noticed was that when Cad Bane was in the upper 70s, beyond the upper 70s for speed, Cad Bane was able to go before R2-D2 went second. Messed around with his mods once, suddenly Cad Bane was going after R2-D's second turn, and it was just terrible. I couldn't keep R2-D2 from doing his AoE stealth again, or for the first time. I mean, for the first time, because again, I was retreating until R2-D2 wouldn't use his AoE stealth on his first turn. So it's really important to get him stunned before his second turn. But still ended up working out, even if I had to wait to stun him with Cad Bane, because Cad Bane would stun him, and then Greedo would be able to keep him stunned. So still, R2-D2's second and third turn, he's still stunned. That's great. It's another turn for my team to go and get down Chewie, or if they got Chewie down, to keep working on Raid-Han, or start working on Raid-Han. So even if Greedo got his stun off first, even if he wasn't ability block, then Cad Bane could go and keep R2-D2 stunned for his third turn as well. So really good having both Greedo and Cad Bane with the stuns, being able to keep R2-D2's stealth controlled at least for a couple of turns to get Chewie down. And then lastly, IG-88, he's the one I didn't care about. Somehow his speed still ended up being 181. Just a factor of the speed mods that I had. Had 30% here. I stacked up IG-88 with potency. Basically used him as a health beast. So he has 45% potency from the sets. And then whatever other potency he has on his secondaries, 3.2% there. Let's see, 2.2% there. Not much. That would be a better way to optimize this, having more potency on his secondaries. I would have had a 30% potency on his primary here. Unfortunately, I don't think I had another mod for it, another one. It was important to have the 30% potency on Cad Bane's cross so that he would actually get his stun off on R2-D2. I had originally had this cross on IG-88. Noticed that Cad wasn't getting any stuns with his stun glove, which was terrible. Put this cross on, changed everything. And again, I don't think I mentioned it, but same idea with Greedo and Boba. You have crit damage with potency, and it turns out that Cad Bane actually ended up being very useful. His basic actually does a lot of damage, and it also hits twice. So he actually ended up being very helpful in getting down Chewie as well. Sometimes, Jango's shrapnel blast wouldn't go off the way I had wanted, or the best way that I could, and then Cad Bane would come in and do like 15 to 20 grand on each basic, and it was just like, whoa, where did that come from? Cad Bane just did 30 to 40 grand on Chewie. It was awesome. So the best thing that happens here is that you get to a point where you've taken down Chewie. With what I've done, the way that these guys are going, the way I'm using them, you get down Chewie, and then you can start to work on Han. Well, at this point, your team's not really so equipped to deal with R2-D2's stealth, because some of them have died, they were ability blocked, or whatever is happening. You kind of got to adapt to the situation. Well, at one point, before I figured out this optimal turn meter, I somehow got OT Chewie and Raid Han dead, and R2-D2 was almost dead. He was under stealth. He had stealthed, and he had stealthed everyone except for Lando, which would have been terrible, right? But then it was Boba's turn. Boba was almost dead. I knew after his turn he would die. He had his AoE up. He was going to do damage to everybody. So I was like, oh, well, R2-D2 is almost dead. If I use his AoE and it kills him, that's wonderful. Boba will get Bounty Hunter's Resolve. His protection will be refilled, and then he'll, even after that gets wasted, he'll come back. So I used the AoE, and it didn't kill R2-D2. It literally, R2-D2 literally had like the sliver of health left. I was like, holy crap, that sucked. Maybe I could have won, which is what led to me kind of working my mods a little bit better and working the turn order a little bit better. With Greedo going first, using Threaten, he also buffs, making sure Bubba will actually crit or whatnot. I also went into Bubba's mods and looked for mods that would give him a little bit more offense to do that extra little slither that I needed to kill R2-D2. And that's actually what ended up happening on my successful attempt. After hours and hours and hours, after hundreds of attempts, literally hundreds of attempts, I had gotten Chewie down. I don't think I had Raid Han down. I think I had done some damage to him. I had done some damage to R2-D2 because he had stealthed everyone. So I was doing damage to R2-D2. I got him down to like about half health. I was able to do a Boba's missile attack. I was able to do an execute on R2-D2 at one point, getting him at 50% or less health. And it ended up coming down to Boba getting a kill on R2-D2 again. I used the AoE, and it worked. It killed R2-D2. His Bounty Hunter's Resolve reset. Next turn, he had died. He had come back to life. I was able to execute again on Raid Han, but I was able to finish him off, again resetting Bounty Hunter's Resolve. I then took out Rolo, again resetting Bounty Hunter's Resolve, and then I was able to take out Lando. So that was my successful attempt. Those are all the Bounty Hunters I used to do it. I already have Zetas on everybody because I'm using Jango, Boba, and IG-88 in Arena, so I only had to add a Zeta onto Greedo. I think the Zeta on Greedo is worth it for this event. You definitely need both stuns, I think. Maybe not the best Zeta in general, but for if you're getting your 5 Bounty Hunter team up, you may as well, I think. Because they're so awesome, they're so versatile. You need them in other events as well. You need them for the cargo event. You need them for the bounty event to get other shards, character shards for like Rolo and Nest and whoever and whatnot. You need them for the mod match event challenge that's going on now, the Smuggler's Run. You need these bounty hunters anyway. It's not that huge of a deal to put as a on Greedo. It is not a waste, I don't think. So basically, if you're like me, when the first event came out and you're already very close to getting your team of 5 7-star bounty hunters, you didn't think it was worth it to go back and restart Bossk or restart Dengar. I just want to create a video showing that it is in fact possible to do it without Dengar or Bossk. It's a lot harder. You actually have to get them up to gear 12. And you have to do a lot of metagaming with mods, I guess, and take a ton of time. But I wanted to share this to show you what I had done and help you kind of do your version faster if you're in my situation, if you're in my case, and someone else has done it, right? Someone else can show you. And so I really hope this video will help you understand what to do, how to do it, how it worked. Again, I showed you OT Chewie, I showed you my bounty hunters. You see that I don't have the 7-star Bossk or Dengar, so I have to have used these bounty hunters, and this is in fact how I did it. So I wish you all the best, especially Havoc in my guild. It seems to me like he does have the team comp to get OT Chewie, and so I hope he gets to see this and hopefully figure out a little bit better how to do what he's doing, so he can get OT Chewie this event. I would really hope my guild members can grow as much as I'm growing, and fast, if not faster, so we can get closer to doing that heroic Sith tier. All right, I'm just really excited. So I wish you all the best. Good luck with OT Chewie. Peace.